colleges. Why? I mean, for what you, I mean, why you are pursuing all this kind of degree, right? So let me answer this question also. So definitely, if you ask this question to you or yourself or somebody else, you might get some tentative answer like, we are pursuing this degree because we want a job or we want to earn money, or somebody will say that I'm doing research because I want to develop some kind of gadgets for somebody, right? So likewise, you'll get n number of answer. But if I'll put this n numbers into different bins, I can create only two bins, and one of the bin is to improve the quality of the life. That means we are doing science and engineering to improve the quality of the life. And the second answer is to understand the mystery of our own universe, right? Mystery means there are many kind of mystery. Let's say one of the biggest mystery is, uh, if you can see my finger, let's say this is my hand, right? So the question is, who is deciding or who has decided that my thumb finger would be this much of size, my middle finger would be this much of size? Why they are not going? They are not growing uncontrolled way, right? You know that if this will grow uncontrolled way, then we might tell this is a disability or this is some kind of problem, right? So this is one kind of mystery. So again, the biggest mystery is, how come from a single cell we evolved like a complete human being? We have one head, two eyes, one nose. Who is deciding all this kind of thing? And this is, I mean, I talked about myself or our body. People think about the universe. Who created this universe? Who decided that the plant and animal should be there? So these are all mystery in this universe. So that's why we do science and engineering to understand the mystery of this universe. In the same time, to do anything, whatever the job or earning money or whatever, to improve the quality of the life. So some of the important innovation to improve the quality of the lives are smart health, humanoid robot, smart car, smartphone, digital security, e-capsule, smart home. And all this technology, whatever you can see here, and I mean, I've just given some examples, but whatever the technology will come on your way, everywhere you will get one thing which very common. This is called the artificial intelligence, right? Or intelligence, not artificial, let's say intelligence. Okay. So now we'll see that why we need and why, I mean, what are the different domains of healthcare technology. So coming to the different domains of healthcare, I have I have just put the healthcare in this four different way. One is called the preventive. That if you are going to have some kind of problem, can you prevent it? Or if you can prevent, or can you stop it? Right? Second is diagnostic. Let's say if you are suffering with some kind of problem, can you apply some kind of techniques or technology which can help you to diagnose with good accuracy and in less time? Third is called the curative. Let's say if somebody is suffering with some kind of problem, just using science and technology, can you cure it? And fourth is assistive. That means if a problem is there which is not curable, or maybe it can cure, but it will take some time. So can we come up with some kind of technology by which we can make somebody's life more independent? Let's say I met an accident and I lost my lower limb. I am not able to walk right now. So can I give this ability to myself? And this is called the assistive or rehabilitation. So mostly the healthcare technology can be put in these four different domains: preventive, diagnostic, curative, and assistive, right? So if I'll ask you, which is the biggest project in the world where the world has invested highest amount of money, then the answer will come, the Human Genome Project. You must have heard. And here, the whole world has invested a very big chunk of money to understand the sequence of the human genome. And again, why this is required? To this, the requirement is to understand the sequence and the related, I mean, to decode all the sequence that what they represent, right? And now, due to the this, I mean, advancement of this artificial intelligence, all this kind of research is moving very fast, right? So here I'm asking you one question: which is more important, engineering or medicine? So definitely, at this in this COVID situation, you will tell that health is more important, right? And definitely, I'm also agree with you. Health is wealth, and health is first. If you are not healthy, then whatever luxury you will get in this world, that make no sense. That means, first of all, you have to be very healthy, right? But if you ask me which is more important, I'll say both of this domain are important. Both engineering and medicine are important, and I see both of them are the two side of a single coin, right? But as the situation demands, let's talk about the medicine, right? So people ask you, which is the most devastating problem in this healthcare industry? And definitely, during this COVID situation, you will tell that COVID is the biggest problem. But if you ask me this question, I'll tell this COVID is actually not a problem. The bigger problem is something else, not the diabetics, not the cancer, but all neurodevelopmental problem. Any problem related to the neuro, that's the neurodevelopmental problem. I can highlight some of the problems like you must have heard: Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, dementia, right? You must have heard. And these are all neurodevelopmental problem. Like autism you must have heard. This is a one kind of neurodevelopmental problem. And you'll be surprised to know 1 out of 70 Indians are having autism, right? And the autism population is a very huge number. And this is not a mental retardedness, but this is some kind of neurodevelopmental problem. So until now, people are working on this problem last many decades, but there is no tentative solution for this, right? Likewise, epilepsy. Epilepsy, you must have heard the fits, right? So fits or इसको कहते हैं मिर्गी कहते हैं, right? So dora or mirgi, you must have heard this terminology. So in this epilepsy, some kind of neural firing will happen in the brain. It's in the layman language. If I'll put in this epilepsy in one word, so I can say this is the earthquake of the human brain, right? And this is again a very big problem. Just 4 days back, I was giving a very big talk in the epilepsy conclave. So that conclave is mostly, I mean, this organized by Dr. Reddy's lab, Hyderabad, and this is for the doctors. And more than 5,000 delegates are there, all those who are doctors in India, and they are discussing the epilepsy. And I was invited as the keynote speaker over there to talk about the epilepsy. And truly speaking, this is a huge problem is there. If anybody is interested to pursue research in this area, the domain is really very big in terms of diagnosis, in terms of prognosis, in terms of prediction, and in terms of rehabilitation. So you can contribute or you can do research in any one of this domain, right? Likewise, another problem, which is again a very big or devastating problem, I can say, known as the sleep disorder. You'll be surprised to know that now the biggest problem people are suffering with is the sleep problem, which is one kind of silent killer. Silent killer. I'm calling this term again and again. Silent killer. That means COVID is not a silent killer. COVID can be solved if you can take the precaution. You can stop the COVID. But these are the problems you cannot stop. There is no medicine for this problem. There is no vaccine for this problem. The only solution lies in your hand. If you have good sleep cycle, don't destroy the cycle, right? Because there is no medication, no understanding for this problem, sleep disorder. And in India, not only in India, all over the world, this problem is rising every day. And by 2030, this would be the biggest problem in all over the world, right? So, so as I highlighted you, all these problems which are related to the neurons or the brain or the neurons or the, sorry, or our neural system, these are all devastating in nature. For that, we need to understand, right? And as I told you, AI in healthcare, challenges and opportunity. Challenges means, what are the challenges? So the sum of the challenges I mentioned to you here is these are the problems we don't know. We don't have the solution. So that's why it's called the challenges. And what are the opportunity? Now the opportunity is if you will undertake research in this domain, not only you will help the humanity, but at the same time you will try to understand how the neuron work. And once you will understand more the function about the neuron, you can develop the next generation AI system, right? And this is very much important, right? Just 1 second. Hello. हाँ, हेलो, बताइए कौन? हेलो, मैं बाद में बात करता हूँ, मैं बात करता हूँ. So these are the problems you need to understand. So where there is challenges, there is opportunity. So when you decide any research problem in your life or in your career, try to select the problem which looks more challenging to you. If the problem is not challenging to you, you cannot do wonders in that problem. So always choose the problem where there is challenges. Healthcare is such kind of domain where it's full with challenges. And at the same time, once you will try to solve the challenges, it will create lots of opportunity in front of you. So I'll highlight some of the research which is happening in my lab in last 10 years, or where I involved myself in all this kind of problems, right? So as I mentioned to you, this is some of the work is happening in my lab on epilepsy at IIT Delhi, and actually these are some big projects I got from the President of India and the Bigyan Bhavan of India to undertake research on the epilepsy. And one of the Center for Excellence in AIMS, I'm heading that Center for Excellence, where the main objective is to find out the diagnostic technique or the prognosis technique using the artificial intelligence model. So here, some of the snapshots of the brain picture which we've created, and we are making this technology much more affordable, which can be implemented in all parts of India. So some of the work again, I'm just highlighting here. This is one of the work I did with Nimhans Bangalore. So as you know, this epilepsy is a big problem, and epilepsy it's very difficult to diagnose because just like the earthquake, you never know when the earthquake will come. But at the same time, you know each and every second we are having many thousands of earthquakes, right? But only the earthquake which is crossing or which will cross beyond some threshold, then only we will tell that this is the earthquake. So likewise, in the brain also, there are some kind of, firings are happening. But out of all this firing, neural firing, some of the firing is end up with some kind of problem, which is called the neural disorder or the epilepsy. So the question was, can we diagnose this problem from the brain images? That if somebody has some kind of this problem, is there any network present? So we apply some kind of AI tools, and we found that yes, using this artificial intelligence, you can diagnose this problem. And once when we published this paper, and it got highlighted in many news outlets in India, including Hindu, that finally the artificial intelligence can help decode epileptic brain, right? So likewise, you can see here, Barack Obama is shaking hand with one person who has no hand. He is completely amputee. He has no hand, but he is able to control his hand by brain signal. You can see the signal is coming, and then it's being processed, and he is shaking hand with his prosthetic hand. And this is a domain called the neural prosthesis. And this is a very huge or very interesting cutting edge research area. You can pursue research in this domain. Likewise, here I'm telling you a very interesting story of a person. He is born blind, and since birth, he is blind until the very old age. And finally, the red color guy, they've invented one goggle. It's called the prosthetic eye or prosthetic, or you can say vision sensor, through which they believe that they can give sight back to the blind person. And the blind person wearing this goggle is feeling very happy because he thinks that he can see his wife, right? But truly, what he is able to see is some dark and light patches of his wife, uh, not the way we see his wife, right? So here, this is a very big question in the science. The question is why the person is not able to see his wife the way we see. Because until now, though this problem is being addressed by many top-notch universities in the world, from Stanford, MIT, Berkeley, everywhere, and you must have seen in the YouTube or many news usually comes that some scientists have developed this kind of prosthetic eye by which the blind can see. But this is far from the truth, because until now we don't understand how we see this world. When some rays of light enter to our eye, and then the eye and brain process all this information, and finally whatever they allow us to see, this is only we can see. And if our brain will not allow us to see what we see, we cannot see this visual world the way we see. So this is a very big question in the science, and it's not been solved, right? And that's why we are not able to develop the right kind of prosthesis for these blind people. So likewise, when you'll do some kind of medical science, or when you'll try to answer all these kind of questions, it will also help you to bring some kind of big innovation in engineering. So I'm not going into the depth. just I'm highlighting few of the things. You know that now we are talking about the autonomous vehicle. In autonomous vehicle, what we are going to do, we are going to we are going to give the knowledge and some kind of intelligence to our vehicle that they can see and drive. So you know that Tesla and many other companies, they've already come up with some kind of automobiles where you don't need any driver. You have to tell your machine where you are planning to go, and accordingly, your car will drive you to the to your destination, right? And likewise, you know this autonomous face recognition system, or maybe if we are talking about the robot. Robot is the 21st century robot which will behave just like a human. And you know that even in India, in many restaurants, the robot is working. But here, the first question I would like to ask you here, who is intelligent? Here I'm showing you two pictures. One is the 2 years old baby, name is Cherry. Another is the most sophisticated robot in this world called Sophia. So my question here is, who is more intelligent, Cherry or Sophia? So definitely the answer is Cherry is much intelligent than Sophia. Why? There are many examples I can give, but I'm giving you a very simple example. When you must have observed the kids at your home. So the kid, when he's 2 years old, 2.5 years old, they will try to climb the stairs or they will try to climb the bed, right? And maybe you must have noticed that they will fall down initially, maybe 2 times or 3 times or 4 times, and after that you will be surprised to know that they are able to climb very easily, right? But people see the robot, people see this machine domain. When you train the machine to do some kind of task, and when you train the robot that how they can climb the stairs, you will train with more than 1 millions of examples. But after that also you will notice that they will do the mistake. So here is the question. When Cherry can learn from 10 trials or 10 mistakes, why Sophia will take 1 million examples? So this is called the intelligence. This is what we don't know until now, right? If we can understand when we are doing research on the human brain, we can understand all this kind of mechanism and we can implement in the machine. That's why I have given my talk, healthcare, AI in healthcare, challenges and opportunity. Though these are challenges, but again, in the same time, they are creating a big opportunity for us so that we can undertake many interesting research, right? So here again, I'm giving another example. You know, deep neural network is one of the fascinating domain nowadays, and everybody, you will ask somebody, do you know deep neural network? And if somebody say yes, you will feel that, oh my God, he is a, I mean, person of uh, AI, right? Or he's expert in AI. But I'm telling you here, if somebody will tell you they know deep neural network and they know that everything in the AI, and you should feel that they are lying you, right? So I'm telling you, we are we are just, I mean, we are very far from the real AI engineer. So if somebody will tell you that they are expert in AI, ask them that how will decide the number of layers for my application. And if you can answer, if you'll get the answer, then you will feel that yes, that person knows something. And I'm telling you here, nobody in this world can tell that how many layers you need for your application. That's why the scientists are very clever. They've given the name deep neural network because they never know how deep your network is. And all this being, done depending on our understanding about the brain science, how the brain process the information. Based on that, we have created this deep neural network, right? So that's why once you will try to understand the intelligence of the human brain, most probably you can come up with some kind of new network. And I'm telling you here on this platform, this deep neural network would be obsolete from the market in next few years, just like the ANN. Nowadays, ANN is in the history. We don't use even the ANN. We are using the DNN, right? And here I'm just showing you the true network. The left side is the real brain network. The right side is the mimic of the brain network. And you will see the brain network looks very, very complicated. Where is the engineering network, which we scientists have built up, this looks very simple. So the question is, why this complexity there in the human network? That means it makes it, doing something else, right? Okay, so that's why it's very, very important to understand the human brain. So I'm not talking all this thing. I'm just highlighting some of the very interesting thing to you, which I'm doing in last few years. I'm trying to understand the human intelligence to answer many questions of the health science in the same time to advance the AI system. So I do many projects in my lab, and one of the project which I pursue in my lab, which is very close to my heart, is on the blindness. What is that? I'll tell you. Uh, okay, I'll tell you that project. Yes. So why this project is not coming? Okay. So let me tell you here. So I'm just going through some slides to see if I have some slides from that project. Oh, it's not here. Um, okay. Okay. So maybe somehow here it's not being added. Let me tell you. So what I'm doing. So basically, we work on the blind children of India, those who are born blind and blind until a very late age. And what I'm trying to do, we are restoring sight to them. And once they start seeing this visual world, we are trying to understand how they're learning this visual world. And this is a very, very interesting set of exam. I mean, very good sets of experiment to understand the intelligence, which is not only helping the blind person to see, but at the same time, it is helping us to develop the next generation AI system. And this is the project I'm doing last 15 years. And in this project, we have restored sight to more than 700 blinds in India, those who were born blind and now they can see, right? And at the same time, I'm trying to answer many important questions. So here, you can see here, I have written two very important words called efficient information encoding and multimodal information linkage. And these are two most important concepts of artificial intelligence. So what does it mean? Here means that, let's say I'm holding this mobile phone in my hand. So though I have not seen what I'm holding, but still I can visualize what I'm holding, right? So this is called the cross model mapping. Whatever I'm holding in my phone or whatever I'm holding in my hand, I'm able to visualize it. Let's say I am talking to my parents today. And when I'm talking to my parents over phone, still I can visualize how my parents look like, right? So I can converting their voice to the visual space. This is called cross model mapping. So this is a very interesting intelligent ability what we have. And do we understand what's the mechanism behind it? That's why, I mean, we are not able to create this kind of mechanism in the robot. So first of all, we need to understand how this is happening. And that's why I've given this example. This, let's say a baby is holding this mobile phone and how he is able to predict how it looks like, right? And so this kind of question, so I'm not going to this kind of question. So this is a very big question I've written here, that how we are doing this, whether we are developed or we are born with this kind of ability or we learn this ability with our experience. And this is a question asked by many top-notch scientists in last uh, 300 years, not 1 year, 2 years, 300 years. Okay. And finally, working with the blind children, we have answered this question that how this is being developed. And we published this paper in Nature. And the day when we published this paper in Nature, it got highlighted in the New York Times in USA. And they gave this cover page to our work. And this mentioned that the blind children of India, they answer this question that how we learn this ability. So that's why here I've just given a one picture. You can see here when somebody is holding this mobile phone, and let's say we are getting some kind of features from the hand. In the same time, when he's looking at, we are getting some visual features, but something in our brain is there which is able to map this visual to the haptic to visual. And this is how we are establishing the map, right? And this is how we can create this kind of model by which we can make our system intelligent. So again, another question another question I'm posing for you, all of you. You must have seen, you every day must be watching the television in your home. So when you see a newscaster reading the news, if I'll ask you, what you feel when you hear the voice, whether the, I mean, from where the voice comes, and all of you have noticed that the voice, we feel that the voice is coming from the mouth of the person who is speaking in the television. But truly, if you, I mean, look at the voice usually comes from the speaker, which is present besides the side of this your television or from the bottom part of your television. But what do you feel? It comes from the mouth of the speaker. So the question is, when the voice is coming from the different parts of the your television, but why we feel the voice is coming from the mouth of the speaker, right? And in order to understand this kind of mechanism, I did some kind of experiment. I used some kind of visual sensor and auditory sensor, and I recorded, and then I apply some kind of computational technique to create this kind of heat map. And I found that this heat map also, I got that I'm getting the highest, the hot color around the mouth. That's why we feel that the voice is coming from the mouth. And from all this kind of experiment, whether this is the computational experiment or the experiment with the human blind children, what I noticed that the dynamic of our environment plays a very, very important role to establish this kind of post-model mapping. And if we can understand this kind of dynamics, most probably we can create the next generation AI system, which you can call the real kind of AI system, right? So that's why at the end, what I can tell that the human inspired engineering is the is the future or many things. That's why the government of India has highlighted or already introduced this interdisciplinary or multidisciplinary engineering program. And please remember, whatever domains you are doing the research, try to be interdisciplinary in nature, because nowadays there is no difference in computer science, electronics, this neuroscience. So everything are embedded in nature. So if you are doing interdisciplinary research, you can take the lead and you can do wonders. Just hold on, please. One second. Human inspired engineering system. And first of all, when you are undertaking this biomedical research, try to understand the intelligence of our human body. And in that way, you can solve many healthcare problems. In the same time, that knowledge will also help you to create the next generation AI system. So the kind of work in the healthcare we do. So this blindness work, what I mentioned to you, it got cover page of the Science magazine. You know, the Science magazine, the Science journal, the top-notch journal in the world. If you have one Science journal, it's more than 100 IEEE transactions, right? So also the research what we do in the healthcare, it got published in Nature, Times Magazine, Harvard and MIT News, as well as in many Indian outlets like Hindu, the Wall Street Journal. They covered all our work, as well as the documentary. This Netflix, the Discovery. They're also making some documentary from our lab at IIT Delhi, that how we do research and what kind of research we are doing, and how it's going to solve many problems in both in the healthcare and artificial intelligence. And again, I've told you, as I given you my topic, that AI in healthcare challenges opportunity. Where you will see the challenges, there is opportunity. Just like one project I mentioned to you from my lab, which we are working on the blindness. Definitely, the blindness was a very big problem for the world, and nobody knew that how to solve it. And it was a very big problem. And when we started, even many people criticize us that how come you can make it possible. But it was a very big challenge for us. And once we solve this problem, it's a big opportunity for us. So that's why try to do something challenging problem, and in that way you can have a broader impact on your society as well as on yourself. Thank you very much for your attention. And actually, I had to finish my talk in very short time, because I had some other, meetings with the ministry, and then after that I have my class at 2:30 at IIT Delhi. That's why I have to stop here. And most probably in near future, when we have some kind of offline session, and if I'll get a chance to meet you in person, maybe I can show you many interesting things which are happening in my lab at the interface of health science and artificial intelligence. Thank you very much for your attention. And if you have any questions, this is your time. You can ask me.
Okay. Thank you, Professor Gandhi. That was a really wonderful talk. I really had a lot of goosebump moments when going to your lecture, actually, because artificial intelligence is one thing which is like it's very fascinating. It's kind of a black hole for me,
That's
actually,
true. That's true.
and most of us,
Yeah.
yeah. So the panel is open for questions. So if there are any questions from the attendees, please, this is the right time.
Sir, I have a
You
question.
can ask.
Yes, please.
Yeah, please.
Sir, is it possible to replicate a complete human brain using artificial intelligence in
Again,
future?
again, again, you use the contradictory terminology. See, what do you mean by artificial intelligence? That means, see, two terminology. One is artificial, another is intelligence. Then the question comes, what is then true intelligence? Now, the true intelligence is maybe some organism what they're doing in the this nature, or maybe our human brain, because in this universe human is the best, or you can say the superior kind of creature, right? So what we are doing, we are trying to understand the intelligence of the human brain and making a model out of it, which we are calling the artificial intelligence. Did you get my point?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Huh.
Yes, sir.
So artificial intelligence, basically we are mimicking the human intelligence in some machine or some mathematical model. This is the AI.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Actually, sir, I have got a question
Yes,
which is regarding your one of these your mobile apps you have generated, this AP saves. So
episode.
where
Yeah,
you just
yeah,
you don't a cap actually, and you can predict epilepsy.
yes.
So is it going to be a non-invasive
Yeah, these are
kind
all
of a
non-invasive.
technology?
Yes, because actually in the human
Okay.
health, even in India also, until now, even I mean, when the neurosurgeon they do the surgery, then only they can put the electrode inside the brain. Otherwise, they cannot put. That's why it's always in the healthcare. We always try to have that non-invasive kind of architecture or kind of model.
Okay, sir. Okay. So normally you'll be detecting the signals coming from the brain
Yeah.
cells or
Yeah. So
okay.
I mean, the brain cell, you know that whatever the neurons are firing, you can collect the signal on the top of your head through some kind of sensor, EEG sensor, you know, right?
Yes,
So
sir.
these are all
Okay.
non-invasive in nature. And here the challenges is the SNR is very poor. So you have to find out the robust algorithm which can give the good SNR. And in that way, you can do your job.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Okay, we have got some quick questions. If there are any quick questions for Professor Gandhi, please, this is the right time. Okay. Okay, sir. Actually, I think there are no questions coming
Okay.
up because you are running short of time.
Yeah.
Yeah, one question I wanted to ask you, sir. This you were talking about this blind thing actually.
Yeah.
So, okay, can we restore the vision to
Yeah. This is,
children who are
yeah,
like
you can get all
blind by
the.
birth?
Yes, I mean, there are many kind of blindness, but we are working on one kind of blindness. So out of whatever the blindness you see in the whole world, 40% blindness can be treated, not all. So until now, we are working with the blindness which are born with cataract. You must have heard about the cataract,
Yes,
motiabin.
sir. Yeah.
So if somebody born with that problem, they also, I mean, they become the blind. So we proved that still it is possible, and in that way you can restore the sight. So we have I had one NGO in India. It's called the Project Prakash Charitable Trust. So in that NGO, we provide the sight restoring surgery to the people those who are born blind. And the same time, we provide them education. And in that way, these people can provide us a big opportunity to answer many questions of the science. So this project is one of the best projects in the world. This is Obama once mentioned in his speech that where science and technology, science, service, and technology, they can go hand in hand, right?
Wonderful, sir.
Yeah.
Seriously, actually. Okay.
Yeah.
That's really nice, sir. That's really wonderful. I don't have any words to express that thing, actually. Okay, so we are running short of time. I think he's really very, very busy right now. So any questions, quick questions are there?
So one small question, Dr. Gandhi. This is Dr. Palash here, sir.
One second, one second. Let me just take the call.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes,
So
please
first
share.
of all, thank you very much, sir, for a wonderful talk. And though I am an electrical engineer, but yeah, this thing is very new for me.
I am also
So
electrical engineer.
yeah, that's what I was wondering. So
So even when people ask me that how come you are working on the brain and human health, why you are in
yeah,
electrical? So my answer is, so if you look at the largest electrical circuit in this universe, this is present in the human body. We
yeah,
are measuring the electrical activity of the human body, and that's why I'm electrical. So so that's why, I mean, the thing is now you cannot differentiate electrical, computer science, electronics, biomedical. So all are same. All are same. There is no difference. We are just looking at it from the different angle. This is the only one difference.
yeah, definitely, sir, definitely, sir. So just one small query from my side, sir. Like there are
Yes.
several PG and the UG students also there in the group. So they will be very much wondering that if they don't have any access to all these machines and all, so how can they start their basic research work in the domain in which you are working, sir?
Oh yes, I mean this is also what I tell to my student. Now they are also, I mean, to whom I teach remotely, just like all of you. I mean, you must be doing this online teaching, right? So
Yes.
even, I mean, if you have a simple computer, you can do many big experiments. I'm telling you, even I tell everyone, though, I mean, for all this kind of experiment, you need many crore equipment, like let's say MRI is let's say 40 crore equipment, EEG setup, 70 lakh equipment. Okay. But definitely all of can don't have this access to this equipment. But if you understand the concept, just if you have a computer, you can do many big research. Even I'm telling you, I have many papers which are published in PNS, even Nature. These are not, I mean, none of this research, I mean, being done in using high-end equipment, right? So let's say if I want to understand some intelligence of the brain, okay, I can develop some kind of, I mean, just using the coding, I can develop some kind of experimentation, and I can conduct this experimentation on let's say 30 people just using the computer, and I can analyze this data, and I can write a paper. And not only write the paper, in that way also you can understand the human intelligence. Let's say if I'll give one example, one of the intelligent activity what we have is called the prediction, because we human, we do everything based on our predictive abilities, right? And
Yeah.
if we don't have this ability, we cannot move an inch in our everyday life. You just think, since morning whatever you've done, all these are based on prediction. When we come out from the house or when we come to our office, you think that okay, whether I should go now or later, whether it will rain or not, and based on that we take our decision, right? Our life is one kind of 50-50. So my question is, what is the genesis of this prediction, or what is the neural or correlates of this prediction? Can I understand this mechanism? And if I can understand, most probably I can create the mathematical model out of it. So in order to understand the basic mechanism, you can write very simple code. You can do some kind of experimentation on the human just using computer. So definitely in any kind of other kind of, I mean, okay, let's say if I'll get any, I mean, one more chance, maybe to talk to you in person, or maybe in future, wherever we'll meet again, maybe I can explain you in better way with some example.
Yeah. Fine, sir. Fine, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. It was definitely it was a fan by moment for me to do listening to your lecture actually, and we will definitely love to be in touch with you in the near future, and maybe we can have some elaborate sessions where we can discuss all the deeper aspects of your research going on.
Yes.
So on behalf of all the attendees and coordinators, I take the pleasure and the privilege to thank you very much for giving this such a wonderful talk actually. Okay, so again I'm having a lot of goosebumps, so I will definitely go back and start reading a couple of lectures into that actually. Okay, so thank you once again, sir, for taking time in middle of your busy schedule and accommodating us. It was really a pleasure listening to you. Thank you once again.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Thagas, for your invitation. And but actually, really, I'm not happy the way I talk today. Generally, I don't talk, I mean, such in a hurried way. So, but the schedule is very tight today. That's why I had to rush. I hope you can understand this.
Yes, sir, it was short, but it was definitely, it was like fully loaded. That's what I can say.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you once again, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you.